Why is it so hard to save money? It sounds so simple. The financial gurus make it sound like it's a snap. Well, just save money. But why can't you do it? We're going to talk about that coming up next. Hi everybody, my name is Dee Burks and this is Retirement Rescue, where we talk about how to make money, save money, and create a retirement from nothing. Well, part of that involves saving some money. But why is it so hard? You get to the end of the month every month and it seems like you run out of money way before you run out of bills. What gives? Even when you really try and you set aside some money, the next thing you know, there's an expense or something happens and it's gone. There are numerous reasons why people struggle to save money, and we're going to go over some of the most common. And the number one, in my opinion, reason, they really don't have that great a handle on their financial situation. A lot of people who struggle to save money are actually living beyond their means, either a lot or a little bit, every single month. And because they don't write things down, they don't really use a budget, they just kind of ballpark it in their head, guess what? They underestimate what they're spending and they overestimate the amount of money they have to spend. So it is very easy to live beyond your means. So you might think, well, then obviously all they need to do is stop that. Well, that's easy to say. One of the biggest problems with people being resistant to budgeting isn't really budgeting itself or any part of that. It's the idea that if they actually set a budget, they're going to have to give some stuff up. And so their mind resists setting up that budget because it means they're going to have to curtail some of that spending, and they know it. That's really hard to do. But you have to commit to knowing your exact financial spot before you can do something about it. It's like the first step in every 12-step program, admit you have a problem. And that's absolutely true in finances. That whole ballparking it in your head does not work. Never has, never will. Now, the second thing to really understand about why you overspend is to realize it's a behavior problem. It's not a math problem. That's kind of like saying, well, you're overweight because you eat too much. Oh gosh, you think? You think that's it? Really? We don't have money to save because we spend too much. It's not that that's a hard concept to grasp. The problem is it becomes a habit. It becomes a behavior. It becomes something that makes us feel good. There is an emotional component to overspending. And you must deal with that emotional component before you're going to make progress. Number 3 is really one of the same issues we have when we make New Year's resolutions, and I just did a video on that. But the issue is we set these goals, and then we set them aside, and we forget about them. We get back into our old habits. If you're going to change the way you save money, which means changing the way you spend money, then you need to have those financial goals in front of you daily. If you're going to break that bad habit that you've created over literally years, you're going to have to look at the new habit, how you want to be, every single day for an extended period of time to get in the habit of not spending money you don't need to spend. Those are habits. Good financial habits are the same as bad financial habits. You have to be committed to creating that new good habit to counteract the way you have been up until now. Otherwise, it's not going to work. But put those goals in front of you. Tape them to your computer at work. Put them in your phone. Make it your screensaver on your phone. Put it where you will see it all the time. And remind yourself every day, this is the new habit I want to create today. Number 4 is a problem we all have. And that problem, debt is easy. It's easy to whip out that credit card and think, oh, it's no big deal. I'll pay it off. You know, debt allows you to overspend all the time. You use debt a lot of times because you don't have the cash. If you don't have the cash, you are overspending. You have to save your money in order to break the habit of using that debt. Using debt is something that a lot of people without a lot of income do all the time, and they end up paying a whole lot more for those goods and services than people who use cash. Creating a habit where you use cash and you save for things you want. Here again is another one of those good financial habits because it saves you so much money in the long run. Because you're not paying on that debt, and a lot of that debt is 20 plus, sometimes 30%. You don't want to be paying that kind of interest rate on things that you could save for. That's why saving money is so critical, to get you out of that debt and create the habit of not getting into that debt again. Number 5, and this is one of the hardest for people, is getting past peer and family pressure to live beyond your means. It's amazing that the people that you would think love you the most and want the best for you can sometimes pressure you into spending way more than you have. Your friends constantly want to go out for lunch. Maybe you're friends with people who make more money than you. That's a big problem. Maybe your friends constantly want to go out and shop. You have got to get in the habit of talking to those friends. It's hard to talk about money. It really is. But when you tell those friends what you're trying to do and ask for their support, they'll support you. Most of them absolutely will support you and say, oh, that's a great goal, and I wish I could get out of debt. And every time they suggest spending money that's beyond what you want to spend, just remind them, hey, remember, I'm really committed to this goal, and I really want to go out. Maybe we'll go out and have a picnic. Maybe we'll make our lunch. Come over to my place. Let's do that instead of going out. They will get on board with what you're doing, but you have to present that. You have to talk about it. You can't just say no, no, no and offend everybody and anger everybody because you don't want to talk about money. Talking about money is a great way to connect with other people because we all have the same problems. A lot of your friends are probably drowning in the same debt you are. So talk about it. Talk about living within your means. Hopefully they'll get on board with the program too, and you'll all do it together. It's a great way to get support, but you have to talk about it. So don't hesitate. The last one is do not trade spending for therapy. A lot of people use retail therapy to make themselves feel better. But once you recognize that that could be happening with you, and we all do that, by the way. We go out, oh, I deserve this. I've had a bad week. I deserve this new outfit. Or I want to go out and have a really nice dinner. I deserve it. Okay, once you get into that mindset, that should be a red flag. To stop and say, you know what, I also deserve to go take a really great hike. I deserve to go out and fly fish. I deserve to do... There are many things you can do that will give you that sense of well-being and that sense of happiness and not afterwards make you feel like a failure. Because that's what retail therapy does. You feel great while you're buying stuff, and then you get home and realize you've way overspent what you should have, and then you feel like a failure. That's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. Forgive yourself. The next day, get back on your financial bandwagon and move forward. But be cautious any time that you're down in the dumps or you're bored and you want to spend money. Stop yourself right there and think of another activity you can go and do that doesn't cost money. Once you really grasp these ideas and you realize how much control you have over your own financial situation, you can make this next year the best financial year you have ever had. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please click subscribe, and I'll see you next time.